A warm welcome. This is Arnav Chaudhary. You are on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. It is Wednesday, July the 23rd, 2025. And it's another Indian football discussion. And I've kept the tagline for today, just Indian football, and we'll talk about it. But before I come to all of that, some of you might be watching afterwards. Some of you might be watching this video delayed. If you like the video, share it with others, like the video, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe, join our conversations. If you want to ask questions, just become a member, just become a subscriber, then you can ask questions. And we remain at 2,780 today. And watch the short videos that I try and make, as I say, on a regular basis. Did something on the 170 candidates on the national team coach yesterday about who my personal favorites would be. FIFA should step in before that, and of course, lessons and consequences from the CAS embarrassment. So those are some of the topics. And good evening, Giron Rea. Welcome back. And Anna says, I am okay. A little tired. Don't know why. Maybe it's the weather. And let's see what happens. Comedy Cup started today. Yeah, Giron Rea. East Bengal taking on South United, and it was an easy 5-0 for the new East Bengal FC. Good start to the season for them. So therefore, East Bengal will be very, very happy with the result. And they start, of course, with 3 points. They've got Namdari FC and Indian Air Force in that group, so it looks very, very likely that East Bengal will win it. And then we'll see what happens in the other groups moving forward. Just looking, where is the schedule? I'm trying to figure out where the schedule is. I've actually not even looked at it properly, to be very honest. Unlike me, I'm just, as you say, I'm not. Tomorrow it's Jamshedpur versus Tribhuvan Army from Nepal. So that's what I see in the schedule. So let's see what happens. Any inside update on the coach selection? There was an executive committee meeting. Oniman, there was no executive committee meeting, and there was a meeting of the technical committee along with the head of national team, Shobhat Pal, as well as Syed Shabir Pasha as the technical director of the federation. And they then discussed potential names in regard to the national team job shortlist. I've now heard 3 different lists. So I'm not sure which one is the right one. As I say, if I've heard something and it's wrong, I don't want to spread, So let's see who have been called up. And then we'll see. Rosa, how are you? AIFF short list 3 coaches. Khalid considered 1 more, says Vikram. I'm good to see you. On a shortlist coach by AIFF, feeling that Steven, Konstantin, Khalid Jamil, and Stefan Tarkovic. Yeah, the Tarkovic name, listen, a little surprised about Tarkovic making the list, because didn't think that he was, so to say, in the list. Of course, he's coached, born in the old Czechoslovakia, has coached the Slovak women's under-19, Slovak under-18s, Kosice, Tatan Prešov, Šilina, was caretaker manager of Slovakia, then coached Slovakia for 2 years, and then was the head coach of Kyrgyzstan. So interesting profile, surely. And we'll have to see, So because there was some wrong reports in some other publications, I'm a little confused because there are 2-3 different lists going around. I think that Stephen and Khalid are on the list is, I think, a given. And a weird one is that the Sports Star is reporting, Niladri Bhattacharya is reporting that Renedy is the third one in that list. I don't know where Renedy comes in suddenly, because I don't know if Renedy actually applied for the Indian national team job. But again, let's wait and see. What are your, what happens again? As long as there's nothing official from the AIFF, it's all speculation by a lot of people. No one has been talking about names so far, so we'll have to wait and see when the names are made public by the AIFF. Let's wait and see what happens. Thoughts on technical committee meeting? Vaman, as I said, I wasn't there, so to ask me my thoughts on such a meeting is not only me, but to anyone who wasn't there, is always difficult. So therefore, for me, that interesting is, of course, yesterday when we were talking, a lot of people said, it's done, that it's going to be between Khalid and between Shonjo Sen, and all the others are not in the running. To me, very clearly, what I've read. So therefore, let's wait and see. Let's see what happens. As we kill now, Constantine and Khalid, Constantine, Stefan Tarkovic, our final three guys. Yeah, RRC game. Any thoughts on Minerva boys winning the Gothia Cup and beating academies in Norway, Denmark, and Sweden? Only one. They didn't beat academies in Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. They beat teams over there. Who they were, what level they were, has to be questioned. So great, as I've been saying over the last few days, take it. Exposure, nothing more, nothing less. For me now is not the time to select Khalid is right choice for Indian team. For me, we need Constantine. Yeah, Vikram, for me, I've said that. To me, if you ask me, I said yesterday in my video very, very clearly that to me, Habas and Stephen are my preferred choices, simply because of the experience that Stephen brings with the national team on one side, and the experience that Habas has in Indian football, also with the experience in Bolivia. And therefore, let's wait and see what happens. Kilna and News 9 both have same three names, so it's confirmed it's these three names. RRC game, yeah, but I'm a little surprised that there is this article from the Sports Star. I'm not very sure. And Niladri is not someone who gets information wrong. So I'm not sure where he puts, where Renedy comes into the mix, right? And therefore, it's a very weird one that his, because I'm not sure if he's applied actually. Let's see. Hi, Yuvraj. I'm doing okay. Not that good. I just feel tired today. I don't know why. It's been, a lot of work in the last few days. They became champion again in Gothia Cup. FIFA instructor and scouts are there to watch these Indian boys. Who said FIFA instructors and scouts are there? Who's telling you that? Onion one. These are grassroots tournaments in Scandinavia. Why would be FIFA scouts over there? FIFA doesn't have scouts for such tournaments or instructors. Khalid Jimmy Shortlist said, national coach, are you commenting? Get on there. Welcome to the new world. So Yves and Churchill were still looking for justice, and Mr. Amal was shocked that what is this legal case and order. Yuvraj, they live in a different world. To me, they still haven't understood how the system works, no? How football system per se should, needs to work. They live in a different world, and therefore, let them live that. With these three guys, Constantine is best in my opinion. RRC game, to me, Constantine has always been the best option. If you look at the list, surely Stephen is the best option given the realities, and we need immediate results. I don't need someone to come in and then say, you know what, I will settle down. Stefan Tarkovic, from a pedigree point of view, looks very, very good, right? Someone who's managed, two national teams over the years, Slovakia and in Kyrgyzstan. But I also look at his sort of win ratio overall, and he's a 30% guy winning, right? So let's wait and see what happens. Going back to Constantine shows the last 6 years have been a complete waste of time. Deepak, yes, the last 6.5 years, I would say. Yeah. January was the time that Stephen resigned in 2019 after the Bahrain loss. And yes, but now that do you have information on recent past Football Governance Act in UK? From what I heard and understood, among things, one ensures English Premier League is funded through Premier League. Could such system exist here? Anupam, there is a lot of discussion in the UK about this. I actually spoke to someone last week. Was it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, when I was in London. And the Premier League clubs are actually not in favor of it, because it is sort of a restrictive point in regard to somewhat of a government control also on the league. But they also want to ensure that not only Premier League, it is more intended for the EFL, not EPL. You're not EPL, meaning EFL, meaning that, that clubs like Bury don't disappear. Morecambe FC at the moment is very, very close of shutting down. So they want to ensure that clubs don't go out of business. That's their main thing. But is this that's for them to see. Another, what's your thoughts on East Bengal's performance in the Duran Cup opener? Chandu, sadly, I'm unable to watch the Duran Cup here in Germany. So therefore, I have no views, and winning 5-0, South United never was supposedly an opponent. We're talking about a team which is not even CFL level, and you're playing with your first team. And if you look at the starting lineup of East Bengal, that's a good team. That's a solid team. So therefore, they only can get better. Yeah, so let's see. East Bengal looks favourite winning Duran Cup, as all teams, including Mohun Bagan, may not have all their foreigners. So Rava, let's see if all the foreigners will be playing for XYZ club. I think East Bengal, I think Northeast United is the other one as the defending champions, who have the firepower potentially to so therefore for me, we'll have to wait and see what happens in the coming days and weeks, and then see. But yeah, as I've said, I'm not too excited about Duran Cup. It's just happening. There are bigger things. There are bigger problems in Indian and football and sports. Yeah. Khalid making shortlist is the prime example how we still have not understood that topping as is not at all rocking with Indian national team. How was in place of Khalid would have been ideal. Yeah, Yuvraj. But to me, it shows that we were discussing yesterday. It's a foregone conclusion. And I told you that this is what at least I've heard today, that it's a foregone conclusion. It's between Khalid and between Sean Sen. That doesn't seem to be the case. So therefore, that's an interesting thing to see. If they choose Khalid, then I'll sue entire technical committee, says Hannibal. What about the new sports bill? It got passed in Lok Sabha? No, it did not get passed. It was just tabled, and it is most likely not going to get passed before the end of the session. You must have heard, and let's see if it gets passed before the end of this monsoon session, end of August. And the question is also what now happens in the Supreme Court. So all of the things that we thought, okay, things would happen today, then there will happen, some other things will happen tomorrow. None of the things are happening. I think the SOS signs of the ISL clubs are going up. And today in the morning, I retweeted something that I'd seen that was posted by Rahul Mehra in regard to the Sports Bill 2025, which he is contesting. And for me, the sports bill, in a summary to what he's highlighted, is a simple third-party interference. And all these, I still don't understand. The IOA, the Indian Olympic Association, was in Lausanne 3 weeks ago. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. And were told by the IOC, you have a governance issue. You have a structural issue generally in sports. You're not winning too many medals. Focus on that, and also look at your anti-doping system, yeah, a national anti-doping agency, NADA. All of that doesn't seem to have gone through, right? And to me, very, very clearly, the biggest point which doesn't seem to be understood, at least if I look at it from a football perspective, and this is the problem when you try and brush all the federations in one go. The AIFF should have representation from the clubs. Everywhere in the world, the top league or the leagues are represented either through a league body or through the clubs, right? And then the state associations represent the amateur game. We are giving individuals seats on that table. What is the interest of an ex-footballer to be on that committee? What will they bring? This is something which I've never understood, that with all respect regarding ex-athletes around the world, athletes are athletes, coaches are coaches, a sports management or administrative guys are administrative guys, governance guys are governance guys. So this whole thing that these guys have been fighting for 15 years, from my point of view, is going totally in the wrong way. I rather have someone like a Joy Bhattacharya in a sporting body, because he understands sports. He's run the Kolkata Knight Riders. He was part of the FIFA Under-17 World Cup, right? He now runs the Prime Volleyball League, right? Those kind of people are needed, So I don't know. I honestly don't know where this is going to head. Take care, sir. Health is important. Keep the stream shorter for better. Yeah, I think, let's see if, yesterday it went on and on and on, 2 hours. Where do big clubs usually send their scouts to recruit overseas talent, especially U16, 17? They don't send. Zoravar, it's all database driven these days. And then if there is someone special, they will then send out their scouts, right? Or you have periods where you say, you know what, I'm sending a scout, let's say, to Brazil. Have a look at things. Top tier, reserve league, under 19s, under 17s, whatever exists. So that's how they do it. Sports will only tabled gear, not passed. Yeah, that's the problem. I don't think it will get passed. So, and there needs to be a discussion on the same. This sports bill, this shows you the lack of interest in this whole topic. Right? That is my concern about the sports bill, that we have people who are discussing this. Do they really know and understand what they're discussing? The same question that I've asked about the Supreme Court. Are people in a position to discuss the sports bill and take a decision, which is in the best interest of Indian sports, right? Glock says Khalid Harambal, it is then mostly from the shortlist. It seems my bold opinion is that he is way overrated the way our fans hype him. Yeah, Glock, he was overrated. And I also think there were others also who've been rated. And but to me, again, as I said, I need immediate results. And I know that there are certain players who will not be happy if Khalid Jamil becomes the coach. There's already fireworks in that dressing room. Edmund today at East Bengal FC was so good, irrespective of the opponent. You just know when the player is confident. Yuvraj, it's nice, but again, you can be very, very confident. But if you've got a stronger opponent, your confidence, if you're not good enough, your confidence has got no value. Edmund needs to continuously work hard. He has potential, but he needs to be working harder to get to be, he's got the number 10 shirt at East Bengal at this moment in time. I don't know if he'll keep it for the rest of the season, but I still think he should have stayed at Inter Kashi for another year, because Inter Kashi are now going to play ISL. I know it's a money thing, and it's a good money for the club as well, transfer fees, this, that, everything. But from a player's perspective, I think, so yeah, that's the reality. Right, 20 minutes. Quick reminder, like, share, and subscribe as always. If you haven't, 4 likes only, guys. I think we can do better. Share with other people to join our conversation. And 2,781 at the moment. So thank you very much for following the channel. And watch the short videos, share it with other people. And thanks as always for your support. It should have been Peter Sagat instead of Khalid Jamil. Guys steamrolled most of the teams like with Tajikistan. Red Apple, you know what I said yesterday? If you're taking Khalid out and even Tarkovic out, I would have taken Havas because I need immediate results. And Peter Sagat, as good, he's done great work in Afghanistan with Maldives and with Tajikistan, but he needed time to settle down, and he doesn't have that, right? So from that perspective, yeah. Do you think Steven and Havas will agree on a short contract if AIFF present them? I mean, we were talking about till March 26. Qualifiers last. Wouldn't they want to secure their pay for at least a year? No, not a problem. If you ask both of them and say, listen, we are in this financial situation and we are only planning till 26. If you qualify for the Asian Cup, the contract gets extended to Jan 27. I think both of them will take it. Steven took a contract in Pakistan for one tie, 2 matches, home and away, in the first round of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers in Asia, right? And they scored for the first time, went to the next round. So therefore, I think Steven will do that. And Steven has been here, and to me, Steven is someone, who will give his heart for India, right? So therefore, for me, I think that's the conversation we should be having, and let's wait and see. No matter how much we discuss, I feel national coach selection decision will be a financial decision. Deepak, if you see what and how we've come to this, then it's not a pure financial decision. If it was a pure financial decision, then none of the foreigners would be still in the mix. And if I understand certain things right, then to me, I think Subrata Pal was the one who was batting for Stephen Constantine. How are the financial stability about German clubs? Are any of them going through financial instability? So none in the top 3 leagues, as far as I know at this moment in time, is having financial troubles. I know that in the 4th division, you've had a few clubs who've moved out last season, but at the moment, top 3 tiers, no problems. Does this will has anything to do with OCI players? Zorawar, theoretically, yes, because it mentions interacting with the diaspora community. So in that way, it does. The question to me is what does that mean? Does that mean that you will call on the players or not? And that's the thing, right? If this thing gets pushed, nothing happens. Where are we? So therefore, for me, it will be very interesting to see how this moves forward. But OCI players, I don't even see if this thing is going to get cleared in the monsoon session with all the problems in regard to the former vice president that is there, and the government not wanting to answer certain things, and the opposition not playing game at it. Never a dull day in Indian football. Imagine top tier not there at the moment, yet Indian football delivers every single day. Yuvraj, Indian football is, we are a soap opera. We are a soap opera. Something or the other always crops up, pops up, and therefore for me, but it's not in the right direction. So let's see. Churchill was looking for legal things and preparing against the caste ruling as per Herald Goa reports. Yeah, but what legal things? If Valanka Lemau herself is a lawyer, if they don't understand that law of sports, law of the land. You've tried your stuff, appeals committee, whatever court, and then Interkashi took it to CAS. That's the last option. Now, if you're going to take it to an Indian court, Churchill brothers only embarrass themselves. Stephen Constantine says, Pradeep Mahato, Churchill brothers will file a new case using pen whose ink will be soaked from their tears on the paper, which is tissue via which they have wiped their noses at where they find crybabies like them. Let's see, Yuvraj. Saw a guy yesterday named Finlay Curtis for Rangers FC. He scored 2 in UEFA Champions League conference. Just such an exciting talent. Okay. I think Rangers won 2-0, right, against one of the Greek clubs. Why are people hyping about this sports bill? Will it change Indian football? In India, bills are passed every year. Nothing happens. Zorawar, again, look at my tweet. And to me, I think it's rather going in the other direction. Let's wait and see. Hi, Blue. Ashish Negi said FIFA AIFF agreed with the sports bill or something like that. Is it correct? No. It's like the same thing that's been saying that FIFA is fine with the new AIFF constitution. They're not fine with the constitution. I don't know where these guys get their info. Sorry. As far as I know, that information is not right. First, Stephen Constantine. Second, Khalid Jamil. Third, Rennie. These three are shortlisted. Stephen is next coach. Mark my words. Pradeep, if he is the next coach, I'm fine with it. Again, interesting is this whole Rennie conversation, because again, Sports Star has put those three names out, and the article is still there. That article was published at 1758 IST by Niladri Bhattacharya or Bhattacharji. Sorry. So therefore, again, there are Khalid and Stephen is clear. The third one, is it Tarkovic or is it Rendy? We'll have to wait and see. It would have been amazing that had he stayed at us, not just for his career, but he would have easily achieved the status from fans that he would carry for their life. Also a story of Tunid that he promoted and ruled. Yeah, Yuvraj, but money is the deciding factor. So are the shortlisted coaches are finalized? Who are they? Blue, there are 2-3 lists going around. It seems clear that Stephen Constantine and Khalid Jamil are on the list. The third one being mentioned by certain sources is Stefan Tarkovic, the former Slovakia national team coach, or in a report from the Hindu Sports Star, which mentions Renedy. So yeah, so therefore I'm a little confused at the moment, because yeah, let's see. Out of context, Ekiti gave to Liverpool Football Club for 95 million euros. Eintracht Frankfurt are the ballers of the world in regard to how they've been selling strikers left, right, and center. This is just insane. Ekitike now, Mamouche in the winter, and they've been doing this now for 6-7 years. I don't know how many. I think 500, 600 million. I think is what they've generated in transfer revenue with their strikers. Just insane. Stephen Constantine has won only one match for Pakistan, but is a legend for Pakistan. Hannibal, coaching Pakistan is extremely more difficult than coaching India. And Stephen, so therefore for me, and he's of course included diaspora players, has pushed for things with the federation. So he's done certain behind the scenes work, which are very, very important for Pakistan football over the last 21 months. And therefore, I think the Pakistan football fans are very, very thankful to Stephen for what he's done and achieved for them. So that's, I think, very, very important. Interaction with diaspora can be used to fasten the passport acquiring process. Hannibal, it could be anything. Interaction with diaspora they could be talking to me, let's say. That's interaction with diaspora. That doesn't have to be anything on the field also. Opposition party is the biggest threat against any PI or OCI inclusion. Rahul Gandhi has multiple times demanded reservation for scheduled tribes overseas in sports. Zoravar, I think it doesn't matter who is in power. I think it doesn't matter. I think the whole political class in India doesn't understand sports. That's a summary. It is highly unlikely opposition party will agree inclusion for diaspora players. Zoravar, who says that? Again, that's for me. What has the old government under the opposition? What has the current government done? I've been now dealing in this matter for 24 years. None of the governments have done anything. So they're not taking decision. Will Sunil continue if Constantine resumes the job? Deepak, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think the first question is, does Sunil continue playing given the realities of the ISL, right? So therefore, that's the first question that you need to ask. How can last time Havas was shortlisted, this time Renedy over Havas? Weird. Again, I don't know if it is Renedy over or Stefan Tarkovic, right? Those are the different people are mentioning different lists. And there's a third one also, which says unnamed coach as a third one besides Stephen and Khalid Jamil. My sources have said nothing so far, so I'm not sure which ones is the right ones. Sir, by the way, what are our qualifications on Asian Cup? You're right, very simple. We have to theoretically win at least 3 of our matches. 3 matches and a draw. If we can get to 11 points, 11, ideal 13. If we can all win 4, that's possible. But Singapore first, 2 matches against Singapore. If we can get something in Singapore, then we can, dream of something bigger. If we don't beat Singapore, then it's gonna be very, very tough. Another feeling sports world is a thing opposition leaders will be least bothered about. I think it will be passed easily. Exactly, Hannibal. I don't think it's the problem is the sports bill, as I see it as this moment in time, is a so therefore for me, let's wait and see. It's India. Let's see when it gets through and how it gets through. Randy is a good option, but he lacks in terms of experience. I feel instead of Mahesh Goli, he should be assistant coach of India, and we must change assistant coach too. Yeah, we could, but I don't think at the moment that the AIFF will change assistant coaches. I think Mahesh will continue for the moment, and if things don't change, let's see what Randy does. Why can't we do groom an assistant coach as well for main role later, like Albert Roca mid, Carlos mid, Gerard, and Gerard making Randy? Because national team is a different thing for me, I think, for us at least. And we need different inputs over time and years. And therefore, for me, I always say we need to have the right inputs from outside, inside to try and build the proper structure within the national team. And that's the struggle at this moment in time. I feel that we have, so yeah. Khalid Jamil, Steven Constantine, and Stefan Tarkovic, Hindustan Times put out an article minutes ago on no mention of Randy, but indeed a surprise that the name popped out of nowhere. That's why I'm not sure. And that Star Sports article is not distinct. That's the funny one, right? It's still, let's see, just reloading. Yeah, it's still there. So for me, it's a weird one, right? So therefore, that's the. I don't know. One would have heard something if Renedy had applied, right? So, yeah. That Joe Morrison guy is getting cooked by entire staff for tweeting terrible things about Manolo Marquez. Yeah. Yeah, I think for Joe, maybe the advice, don't throw with stones in a glass house where the glass could hit you. So, and that's, I think, happening to him. And yeah. So therefore, I don't know if that was very smart from him. Well, now that there are clauses in sports world that national sports board is override by international bodies rule for corresponding sports such as FIFA and IOC, etc. Yeah, but the national sports board or whatever's been called, it's still a problem for me because who's sitting on those boards? How are they composed? There are a lot of things. So therefore, this is not for me the starting and the end of it, right? So therefore, this is you can discuss it, you can look at it, but it's not going to help you get to the point that we need, and that's the challenge I think that we have in regard to sports, right? So at least, so that's that. 1 second, let me see what. No offense, but Khalid Jamil Randy as coach over others who applied. Yeah, Blue. As I said, I don't know if Randy is really in the list. India struggled against Hong Kong, no way beating diaspora players. Singapore, some of the Singapore diaspora play in the division. England. Yeah, Zoraba, let's see. I also feel Mahesh Goli is equally guilty for downfall players because he's one who gave all inputs to Steamach and Manolo. Did he? Did they listen to him? That's the point, no? You're making an assumption. We spoke about yesterday, no? So therefore, let's see. Yeah. Now Ashish of Kirna also published. Kumar, with all respect to all the people who are tweeting, right? If no one has confirmed from the AIFF, take it with a pinch of salt. I think it's therefore, I'm just confused why the sports star would come out with an article, so therefore, let's see. Yeah. So therefore, there are some unofficial sources. All these articles are claiming unofficial sources. So therefore, let's see. He said Manolo a fraud, not for having international experience, while praising the Pakistan coach just because he was a top league player. He also don't have any international coaching experience. Hannibal, he's a sports media guy. He's not a football guy. But you have to also remember, why is he criticizing Manolo? Because Joe Morrison was involved in getting a certain Gurpreet Singh Sandhu to Norway many years back. So that is where this whole problem is stemming from. Shortlist is already, where can I read it? Ishan, there are articles in the Hindustan Times which says Stephen Constantine, Khalid Jamil, and Stefan Tarkovic. Yeah. Is Joe Morrison Indian? He knows quite a lot about Indian football. Personal. Yes, Zorawat. I know him. No, he's not Indian. He's British. And he's done television work. He was presenter of many years back at some stage I-League and of course Champions League. Why no Bibiano? Bhadresh, because I don't think Bibiano has applied. So yeah. Bibiano taking care of junior team at the moment. He's doing well, says Giron Rare. Hi Hapa Master, welcome back. By seeing current scenario in football, will parents send child to play football? Already resistant for parents the way federation operates across all sports problems in India. Murali, do the parents actually know what is happening in Indian football? Would be my question. I see a lot of parents sending their kids abroad, thinking that their kids can now become professional footballers. They're not looking at the AIFF and saying, things are bad. So, if parents want to send their kids to become, so yeah. AIFF should make the final screening interview public. Why, Anupam? This is something which I don't agree. I think these kind of conversations don't need to be in the public domain. This is not something which, if you have this as a streaming or whatever available, then I don't think they'll have an honest and direct conversation. So therefore, I don't think these things just make sense. India win 4, Argentina 0, U14. No, didn't. Have a master. Have you heard about that academy from Argentina which lost 4-0? Damn, Gurpreet and Joe Angle didn't know about it. That's the whole point, Hannibal. That's the whole point why Joe Morrison is having a go at Manolo, because he got rid of Gurpreet. That's the whole story here. Stefan Tarkovic, where did his name come from? Ishan, he was on the list. See, the point is we are looking at names who people are throwing out, right? The job of the AIFF is to do a screening. And if I look at the names that are now on that list, then I say that the AIFF has, the AIFF national team department and the technical director is, I've looked at names and they have come up with, supposedly these 3 names. Need latest update of AIFF court decision. What is the update in hearing courtroom? Any argument? Not serious Indian, there is nothing. We are waiting for a new date from the Supreme Court. People said 15th, 18th, 23rd is today. I don't see it happening this month at the moment. The main problem for India across all sports, the first fight with Federation, half the battle, lost of focus should be on opponent, not on Federation. Court case drags on for years. Yeah, but not all sports are fighting in courts now. And that's also very generic. Will they call final selected coaches for interview? Hannibal, they could call them. Nowadays, you don't need to call them now. You can just do a Zoom call. I think, we know what Steven can do. Khalid is known. Stefan Tarkovic most probably is the dark horse in this whole race at the moment, right? I have big concern about Indian football. Youngsters aged between 15 and 20 is more interested in indoor turf football in India and quite happy in that bubble, only an indoor turf taking over normal football. Yeah, it's a trend elsewhere as well. So, Switzerland Gothia Cup 80-team slots tournament and reached to final and won 4-0. Switzerland is wrong. Hypermaster, it was in Sweden. It's an 80-team, yes. But are you playing in the A division? First question. No, you're not. And we've been talking too much about this. So any idea about I-League relegation case to appeals committee? Is there any hearing scheduled? Nothing, Yuvraj. At the moment, I've heard nothing of what is happening. Which match India won for it's been never. Yes, Surab, we were talking about that. Let's hope Stephen makes it. Yes, Ishan. Yeah. Who, according to you, is great choice for President AIFF because election will happen? Badresh, I don't even know if election and when it will happen. So I have 2-3 people in mind. So for me, but I will not publicly discuss them. I rather talk to them in the background and try and push them to the right authorities, because in the public domain, So yeah, the less said, the better. Well, now the anti-doping bill tabled completely in line with WADA in previous bill, which is on hold, has government representation, and NADA after the direction of WADA, they completely. NADA, Independent Water Institution. Yeah, Kumar, because as I said, India got a slap on its wrist from the IOC and from WADA on the 1st and 2nd of July, which has not been properly reported by the media in India. If national team experienced the primary criterion, how did Khalid make it? Ishan, I don't know. That's, again, the criteria are there, and then the criteria are, I thought federation issue with coach exists only there, but Southgate also faced the same issue. No, he didn't. Who's telling you that? Murali. When will people understand whenever goes to these clubs to play soccer school teams of big clubs? No, they don't play soccer school teams of big clubs. They're playing grassroots teams. They're not even playing. In Europe, you don't have soccer schools, in this part of the world. Maybe in the UK, but not in Scandinavia. Right? And if you look at the teams who've come, so let's see. One second. Just wanted to check something. Whenever Banjaj boasts about winning an incident grassroots league, just ask him where his World Cup 34 batch. Yeah. If our kids replicate same with Dallas Cup, would you be surprised or no chance? No chance, Morali. If I remember, I think Bangladesh sent a team last year, and they, I think, got beaten. And they got badly beaten. So no point. All right, AIFF press release has come out. So let me just read out what it is. AIFF Technical Committee shortlist 3 for Blue Tigers head coach role. That's the headline, and it says the All India Football Federation's Technical Committee met virtually on Wednesday, July 23rd, 2025, to shortlist the applicants for the senior men's Indian football team head coach role. The Technical Committee carefully reviewed 170 applications received earlier this month and narrowed it down to 3 candidates: Khalid Jamil, Stephen Constantine, and Stefan Tarkovic. The Technical Committee has recommended the resume of the 3 shortlisted candidates to the Executive Committee, which will take the final call on who the next Blue Tigers head coach will be. So confirmation: Khalid Jamil, Stephen Constantine, Stefan Tarkovic are the 3 candidates for India head coach role. So is there any obligations and set of rules regarding technical committee appointments like ability and all? No. It's on the technical committee now, what they want to decide. What do you think of PVG points per game for determining coaches' capabilities? Nothing. Because you don't even know how good, how strong, AIFF media already confirmed. Yeah, Supriyo, that's what I just said. Your thoughts on hyping Gothia Cup victory? Useless. We are talking too much about it. Let those boys make it through, become senior level footballers, represent the Indian national team, become Asian level players, and then I don't need to have a conversation about these things. कैसे बताओ सबको कि ये Gothia Dana are of no use? Yeah, Angry Birds, welcome. Is Gothia Cup become PR or good for development? It's PR. Those World Cup 2034 batch players are supposed to be 15 plus years old by now. Yeah. Will consider table tennis victory India recent women, junior women over China. Okay. One league which happened according to you. All the leagues in India, outside of the IPL, all the leagues, even ISL, hyped. Or now the European how national team coach recruitment will be done until final round of interview. Kumar, country to country different, right? You have your technical committee or you have a special group, and right. Sometimes they have even one candidate and they approach him, they get him, they don't. Like Germany was trying to get Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp said no, and then they went to Juventus and Nagelsmann. Nagelsmann said yes, and they took him. So again, it's different, right? Dallas Cup, no chance. Exactly, Angry Birds. They have a technical committee carefully reviewed 170 application. Yeah, Punjab, that is what I just read. If Stephen comes, do you think seniors will bid goodbye to the team? No, I don't think so, Deepak. Stephen knows what he has, what he needs, and he might call on players. And yeah, so therefore he's smart enough to know which player he needs to use to get his results. Stephen is smart enough on that, and yep. Scoreline of Rana Cup says teams are very amateur. They should have contacted your Ashish Negi. Badrish, yeah, they could have. But I've already said these tournaments in Scandinavia, if you're trying to build an academy, Minerva should have either come to Germany or to Spain or in England and come and played proper friendly matches against teams. Spent 2 weeks' time over here, played friendly matches against stronger, weaker teams. I think that would have been more favorable to these boys. Who will be favorites? Punjab, to me, if you ask me, Stephen is the favorite in that list. So how is the third coach? Stefan Tarkovic, interesting, 52 years old, born in Prešov, which is I find very interesting. Yeah, and yeah, will be very interesting to see if what happens, so to say, if Stefan Tarkovic actually has a chance or not. Just checking, if I'm not wrong, Prešov is the partner city of Remscheid, right? Yeah, if I'm not wrong, just let me just check one thing. I wanted to see. Just 1 second. Let me just. Sometimes when you don't have that information in your head, you have to check. Yes, so he's born in the partner city of my hometown here in Germany, Remscheid in Prešov. So Stefan Tarkovic, 52 years old, played in his youth for Tatran Prešov, played for the senior team as well, but at the age of 24, 25, started coaching. I guess would have had some injury or something. First coached for 5 years the Slovakia women's under-19 team, then coached 2 years the Slovak under-18 team, then coached FC Košice, top club in Slovakia. Actually, no, they've shut down. Oops, I just didn't know that. Then he coached his hometown club, Tatran Prešov. Then he coached MSK Žilina in Slovakia. Then he became caretaker manager of Slovakia, worked in the federation, 2 years head coach of Slovakia. And then he spent a little over a year as the head coach of Kyrgyzstan. So, yeah. So therefore, interesting CV, I would say. So why are we considering Stephen over Stefan? I mean, Stephen had a good run with us, but are we scared of new face? And sir, don't you think international players and playing style have changed from when Stephen used to head? No. First of all, no. To me, I need immediate results. I need someone who knows Indian football. That's why I said to me, if you ask me, I said, that's why I did that video yesterday where I said clearly to me, Stephen Constantine and Antonio Lopez Habas are my favorites because Stephen knows his stuff, Senor Habas knows his stuff, and that is a combo which is very, very strong. And have we changed our playing style? I don't think so. I think that's the biggest myth that we have, right? We need to get results. And I guess they've done their work. So Stefan Tarkovic, I don't know about his playing style, so I need to find out a little bit more about his playing style. But that'll have to see. But I think Stephen with Habas, as I've said yesterday on the live, which I said also in the video that I made yesterday morning, to me is the best choice because of the experience factor. It's just, to me, simply Stephen and Habas would have been the best choices. Stefan Tarkovic, I've just spoken about it. Yeah, managed Kyrgyzstan. Check out the executive committee members. It's a simple majority got to make decision. Yeah. And to me, the question is, why doesn't the national team department and the technical committee make a recommendation of 1, 2, 3? Just they're saying, listen, these are the top 3. You choose one from the 3. I would have gone in and said, listen, these are the top 3, and this is my 1, 2, 3. I think that would have been better. Is Stefan a good choice in your opinion if he's selection? Zohar, I don't know enough about him. Again, I don't know enough about him to be able to give you an opinion on Stefan Tarkovic. Kyrgyzstan coach is good or bad? Indian football squad, as I said, I don't know enough about him. Yeah. Japan rising over there is unbelievable. Murali, yes, they have. On the other side, Japan have nearly not fulfilled their potential, right, overall. We will be absolutely cooked if anyone other than Constantine came. I agree with you, Hannibal. Korea beating Portugal in World Cup, are you surprised? No, can happen. Now we'll see senior men's, all U teams, men's, women's, doing nice performance like women's senior qualifier for AFC Cup, and now we see U14 4-0 win also. We don't have a U14 Hypermaster. That is a club side. It's an academy side. We don't have, and we did not play Argentina. We played an Argentinian, I don't even know what it is. It's an academy or grassroots, whatever it is, right? So please, please, please be clear what you're saying. What difference does Dallas Cup bring compared to Gothia Cup? The competition is much tougher. The Gothia Cup is a walk in the park. If you're beating teams by the margins, you're beating them. And if you then go to the Dallas Cup, a team from Bangladesh went last year to the Dallas Cup. They conceded in 3 matches 33 goals, right? West Bengal government has sent an ultimatum and show cause notice to the AIFF for the delay of Operation Center of Excellence in Kolkata. The government gave the land to AIFF for 99-year lease in exchange of 1 rupee a year. Yes, Palash, but the Center of Excellence operates, but not in its full capacity, right? So, yeah. High chances Stephen will be the coach. Mark, with the I've given up with the AIFF too. Yeah. What happened to Habas? Why are we giving the same role to same guy? Isn't bizarre? No, it's not. Again, they picked a top 3. They didn't think Habas qualifies for that. And then, yeah. We beat Kyrgyzstan in Manipur. Is this the same coach they had? Not sure. I think it could be that he was in Manipur, yeah. Stephen gotten a decent record with Kyrgyzstan, Slovakia, but I still prefer Stephen. Yeah, Angry Birds, same here. After working in various football projects and sports in developed countries, big franchise one area to find India's milestone in sports development. It's just professionalism. Biggest problem in India. Pray so that Stephen becomes coach, says Ravar. One advice for people who talk about lack of resource and finance. Spend the money properly. Very, very simple. What is Dallas Cup? Hannibal, Dallas Cup is a youth tournament in the US, in Texas, where you have 40% representation from around the world, 40% representation from the US, and 20% locally from Texas. and it is at least at under 19 level. I think I was talking about it yesterday. It's the insane level of teams that have won the Dallas Cup, and I was looking at it. I can go through it again if I look at. Oh, it's already been paid. So if you look at it, current champions Botafogo. Before that, FC Sao Paulo, Midtjylland from Denmark, the Panama under-20 teams. Tigres won it, FC Dallas, Everton Football Club, Curitiba, River Plate, Fulham Football Club, Curitiba, Tigres, Eintracht Frankfurt from Germany, Cruzeiro, FC Sao Paulo, Liverpool Football Club, again Sao Paulo, Atlético Paranaense, Tigres, Nottingham Forest, Pumas, Corinthians, San Lorenzo, Vitoria, Sao Paulo, Real Madrid, West Ham, Dinamo Moscow. Yeah, you realize that there are some very, very good teams in the mix who've won this, and the Bangladesh team played in it. Sorry, this year it's already been held, and that Bangladesh team conceded 33 goals in 3 league matches. Slovakia in last Euros. Yeah, he did. Can we send Indian youth national team to Dallas Cup? Theoretically, why not? So what could be the one reason that your instincts say would be the reason for Havas exclusion? I have 2 foolish theories of mine. Okay. High salary demands, ego people at AIFF with Sway versus Kashi, like lame take by me. I think the first one might be a problem, So, So therefore, for me, I would say the first one. Any instance you felt people with no idea about football pretend to be expert and people following them and portray as both? Yeah, morally, we have tons of them. Indian football's biggest problem. West Bengal government has said they might take away the land from AIFF if they fail to show proper reason for the delay. Do you think it's a genuine concern from West Bengal or politically motivated move? Palash, I don't know what is the game plan behind it. I know I visited it earlier this year, the facility. It's still not finished. It's still in the state that I saw it 2 years ago. So that's a reality. The facility has not been developed to the extent where it should be. So therefore, for me, I don't think it's politically motivated, but the AIFF needs to answer, because I remember I was there when Praful Patel, Mamta Banerjee and Gianni Infantino spoke about it, and then Mamta Banerjee on the spot said, yes, we will give you land for this academy. So therefore, and we will charge you 1 rupee as land charge, and per yearly charge also for 99 years 1 rupee. So the overall cost for this land, I don't even know how many acres this is, the plot, of 100 rupees, which is a joke in itself, but that's the commitment. And the AIFF started building, especially with the help of FIFA and the AFC. They funded about half of what is there, and behind the property was supposed to build a mini stadium. And I don't know what the status of that is at the moment, but one has to see. Never can be playing these games as useless unless some players get scouted by someone in Europe. Then that's a big why for India. Indian football scout, they cannot be scouted. They're under 14, so under 14s cannot be signed. So to me, that's it's not even an option, So therefore, under 18, you're not going to be signing contracts in Europe per se. If Indian team manages to draw and ask up your action, morally, we're not going to draw. If Bangladesh loses by 33 goals, 3 matches, you think Indian team will draw? Come on, let's live in reality, Uzbek guy made debut for East Bengal, just so Bipin scored as well. Nice, good. I'll watch the highlights later on. Mahesh Naram scored bangers. What happened when it comes to national team? Indian football scout, this opponent to beat 5-0 should be, we shouldn't be even talking about it. South United is not even Kolkata League level. So therefore, this comparison that you, I, or we are making is just doesn't exist, right? This is East Bengal is much better team. Let's see. Stefan Tarkovic, kaisa coach hai? Abhijit, as I said a little earlier, we've been discussing this for the last hour. Look at maybe the older. So for me, good CV, interesting coach, but at the moment you need to know Indian football to come in and win. And I don't know if Stefan Tarkovic can really do that. That would be my question to him, to the guys deciding on that fact. Right, over an hour already. Quick reminder: if you're watching, if you're liking it, do leave a like behind, share it with others as well. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. If you want, ask your questions, be part of our conversations. We're 2,784 today, so closing in slowly on the 2,800 mark. Thanks a lot, guys. And of course, also watch the short videos that I make. I made one on the 170 coaches who applied earlier today. Yesterday, did something on my favorites. I said Constantine and Habas were my three favorites. Again, at least one of the favorites made the shortlist, so let's wait and see. Can you please briefly tell us about Stephen game plans and how it's different from Mr. Khalid? Yuvraj, Stephen is a very pragmatic coach, and if you ask me from that perspective, Stephen, of course, yes, also is defense first. But I've seen in the Asian Cup 2019, when he had the quality that he went into a more attacking mode against Thailand, and also in the first half hour against the UAE. So Stephen can do that. And, so therefore, so that's that. And strict disciplinarian, 10 o'clock, everyone in their rooms, no nonsense. I mean, he, in the Indian national team or even in the Pakistan team, kept some of the best players out if they didn't fall in line. So yeah. Any instance age fraud occurred in Dallas Cup? Murali, no idea. Sir, you have seen the three shortlisted coaches you've earned it. Siddhant, Stephen Constantine, all day long. That's my choice, right? Exactly. South United might have funds, but they're not even an I-League 2 team. Also, South United runs a pay-to-play youth project in a facility, if I'm not wrong, small fancy facility. Polish, they are not a small fancy facility. They are the only inner Bangalore 11-a-side facility. The Indian national team, I remember I saw the Indian national team train there 2 years ago in and around the SAF semi-finals and finals. So nice little facility. They've got a gym on the complex. They have a nice two-storied coffee shop over there where you can, have coffee, cold drinks, or even can eat. Very nice facility. And you say it's a pay-to-play model. Start from, I think, from babies, so therefore, but they also are an entity which looks to try and break even. So therefore, they have not spent that much in and on their first team. So their approach has been, you know what, we have a first team, yeah, but we don't spend. They're a former second division league team. They've played in I-League 2 in the past, but at the moment, the competition in Bangalore is tough. Where do you rate Serie A, EPL? Monali, EPL is one of the strongest leagues in the world. You've got La Liga, you've got the Bundesliga, you've got Serie A and Ligue 1. So yeah, top 5. Who would be your choice, sir, out of 3 coaches shortlisted? As I said, Suraj, for me, Stephen Constantine all day long. Indian U15 football teams participated in Dallas Cup, not really reaching the quarterfinals 2011. Under 16, I think, if I'm not wrong. It was at the time, yes. If I'm right, under 16 at the time. Do you have more bad memories with India football rather than good memories? Yeah, of course, Murali. A lot of failures, no? Indian football, so that's that. By the way, AIFF National Center of Excellence yet to be completed in Bengal Accounting. Zorawa, they've only built 2 grounds and one portion of their functional building. And there's land behind that property, which they have not developed. They've got a grass pitch and an artificial turf pitch that is used by East Bengal, Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan. Interkashi has used it as well. The Indian national teams use it when they're in Kolkata. Dallas Cup is better than Gothia. Yeah, it's not even a question. Tell me why Stefan and not Habas, your opinion. Siddharth, I don't know. Again, my opinion is there are people sitting on the table. You've had the technical committee, you had the Shubrat Pal, you had your Syed Shabir Pasha, you've got Bimal Ghosh, and you've got Armando Colasso in there in that meeting, and then they talk. And then they come to this conclusion. Hi, Dark Knight. Who Pontico's team achieved in football? The national team department and technical committee of the time under Abhishek Yadav. Any instance you felt certain player played best under certain coach, but with other coach they are not same? Yeah, Murali. Happens around the world. The commentators are saying that South United was founded by two women. I have no clue. I would know if that, This time, not many national teams coaches applied. What would be reason? So that short span of time, if the process was maybe 2 weeks longer, I think more coaches would have applied. Do you think India good grassroots facilities compared to other parts of the world? So some extent, some of the places have. Again, with India you can't generalize. You're generalizing in regard to India. India is not one, one big entity. India is, different entities at different levels. So it's safe to say, sir, that Stephen is adaptive. If the opponent is X, then we play X way. If opponent Y, then we play Y way. Something Mr. Khalid lacks. Not a deficient, just different support. Yeah, Yuvraj. And Stephen knows what kind of players he has to his opponent. What's the guarantee that he can get us through Asian qualifiers? Why are we making same wrong points? Utsav, to me, this is the best appointment we can make. So, to me, Stephen is the best option amongst the ones maybe mentioned. So therefore, for me, I would take him. One thing annoys you about England team. Really, I don't care that much. 2011 India 16 means Pritham Kota batch. No, Pritham Kota in 2011 was already Indian Arrows. This is the younger batch in 2011. But I don't know if Sanjay Sen was the coach. I know later that year he was the coach. 1 second. Let me go back here. Video content on my own channel. I've got the video of India playing Schalke U16s, but that was that? 1 second, let me just check which year that was. 1 second. There's so much of data today, right? I have to cross-check a lot of things today. And you realize, right? Can't remember everything. 1 second. Let me just get this. 2014. So Sanjay Sen was in August 2014 India under 16 coach. Right. I even have the whole match here. If you want to watch it, still available. I'll just copy the link and post it here if you want to watch it. That was in that's the link. All right, sorry. But where are we? Sorry. Working in FIFA, AFC and ribbons? Yes, of course. FIFA and AFC, FIFA on a global scale. AFC looks at Asia, so yeah, there are differences. This appointment doesn't work. We need resignation of technical committee members too. Utsav, yeah, good. But is it going to come? Pretty interesting to see Khalid and Takovich in the last 3. Yeah, Achut, I thought Khalid or Sanjay Sen would make the final three. If there's a final, I thought there would be a final five, and Khalid and Sanjay Sen would be in that list, if you ask me. Um, so for me, but I thought that Steven and Habas would make the shortlist. So again, they made three rather than five. India has better facilities in football than many African Asian countries. The only thing we lack is quality coaches. Quality coaches and the right competitions. We will see about that if we qualify for AFC. Utsav, AFC qualification to me is at the moment on the edge, right? I would like India to qualify. Let's put it this way. But do I think that we will qualify? So I don't know. Right. So that is a reality that I have to keep in mind. Have you seen the East Bengal match today? If yes, your views. No, I didn't. I couldn't watch, as you say, Uchut. I couldn't. Didn't have a link. And I didn't bother also, to be very honest, too much to find a link or something. Today, at the moment, I don't know how you guys are feeling. I'm not in the mood of watching Indian football that much. National team, yes, I can. But club football is like, let's see. Steven can bring best out of this team. I have full faith in him, not just because his pass history, but because his tactics. Yeah, that's the point. And if the players are not going to be willing, he's going to get rid of players and going to get different players and then try and get them to play his way and style. That is, I think, the big question that we'll have to wait and see what happens now. Steven will be the coach, maybe. What do you think? So, yeah, Srirawala, I think so. Yeah, I would think so. Welcome, Balash. How can someone say Steve wasn't and bad? We qualified for AFC Asian Cup. We won against Thailand, almost qualified next round. Yeah, Dark Knight, that's the problem. Mohan Bagan is actually looking for a Greg Stewart replacement, says Zoravar. Yeah, looks like it, no? Looking in Scotland. NADF Sports was discussed today in the Parliament. No, Uchut Parliament didn't really settle down today. Nothing discussed per se, be sport bill or anything else. So we'll have to wait and see. Panjasi will use their new stadium this season. Which new stadium? Sorry, did I miss something? They've got something of a ground where they can play their juniors, but if I'm not wrongly informed, I don't think they have a stadium to play the senior team. But the problems in India Indians don't like Steven's style of football. So rather, to me, forget the style of football. Did I like the style that Crispin Chetri had for the women's team? Just a simple question, right? Simple question. Yeah. And so therefore, for me, Steven got us the results not once but twice over two. Let's see. Fans were salty about Steven for not winning staff by fielding U23 team. In fact, was using staff to find key U23 players for senior team. This did some improvement in squad with Gurpreet Thapa, Changte and more. Yeah, Gurpreet Thapa, Changte and others. Yeah, got a chance. They've created new ground for the reserve team to play in the Punjab State League. Yeah. They have a new sort of home for their local football team. Quick reminder, 1 hour, 13 plus minutes on this live on this Wednesday, on which the three candidates for the Indian national football team's head coach job have been announced by the AIFF. We are talking about Khalid Jamil, Stephen Constantine, and Stefan Tarkovic. And let's see what happens. And if you are liking this discussion or you're listening to it afterwards, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Slowly growing, 2,784 subscribers. Thank you very much. And look at the short videos that I make. Did something today on the 170 coaches who have applied. Yesterday I said Constantine and Havas my favorites. So therefore do watch those videos, and thanks as always. In fact, back in 2009, we were desperate for him to be sacked back in 2000 due to his playing style. So now the style one is so, let me call it what it is, so stupid, because the best style I've seen an Indian football team play under Steven was at the Asian Cup. The best. I've seen now Steven with an Indian team for over the years. That was the best against Thailand. That second half, I always speak about the first 30 minutes against UAE. So therefore, yeah. So therefore, Let's see what happens. Style doesn't matter. We are at a situation that demands results very badly. Yeah, exactly. What the style conversation is the most stupid conversation in the world. It doesn't matter. I don't care about tactics. Play as dirty as you can. We need to qualify for AFC Asian Cup regularly. It's highest place where Indian football can play internationally. Very true. Dark Knight. Again, what Ochu said, what you said, we need to be realistic of where we stand, how we play, how can we play, what can be the result. Nothing more, nothing less. If we're dreaming of our team playing, someone said, no, I think yesterday, day before, you know, uh, uh, so they think that we can play like they play in the ISL, and they don't realize our team is national team without the foreigners is not the same thing, right? So therefore, for me, that's a problem. So let's see. The new ISL fans seeing India's play short passing football in ISL got influenced. So, yeah, but they don't realize that the foreigners are the factor why we are able to play the way we play in the ISL. Good night, sir. Take care of your health. Thanks. If you ever feel low, just think of a loudmouth club who has got a trophy to return to the real winners along with arbitration costs. No one will laugh. Thanks, Yuvraj. Good night and see you soon. Prithviraj says to Zoravar, the simple people against rooting for Park to join in the team when he was with Vietnam senior. With him and Park's playing staff would have been 10-star Stevens. Prithviraj, the problem to me is that do you think, again, I spoke to people in Vietnam who I know, some will speak highly about Park, some were very critical about Park's behavior, for example. So you have to do that kind of a due diligence and your homework as well. Just if you go by results, this is the problem of fans. You just simply go by results. That's not. You have to do your due diligence in regard to what's the kind of character, what does he do, this, that, everything. All of that has to be done, right? And so for that, yeah, it's like Peter Sagat being pushed by people. When I say Peter Sagat, if we are at the start of the season, new cycle of qualifiers, yeah, Peter Sagat I think would have been a perfect coach. But at the moment, Peter Sagat, forget it, no chance, right? Good night, Zoravar. See you soon. To me, that's the point, right? We, at this moment, I said this yesterday a number of times, to me, the decision of the AIFF can only be who is suited, for the role and who can get me results. I don't need someone who tells me, who's gonna get me the results, right? I have to realize what do I need to do to get the results, and my results. Yeah, let's wait and see. What is your opinion about Stefan Tarkovic? Anbar Rasan, I don't know enough about him to have a real opinion about the gentleman. The CV, the blind CV of the gentleman looks interesting. I jokingly said that he is born in the old Czechoslovakia, but now Slovakia, in the partner city of my hometown here in Germany, in Prešov. Coached there, coached junior national teams, men's and women's, coached club sides in Slovakia, then the Slovakian national team at the Euros, and then coached Kyrgyzstan. And I'm realizing he joined in April 2023, so he didn't coach in the Tri-Nation in India. Yeah, so therefore for me, interesting, but I don't know enough about him. I have to find out a little bit more about him to have a real opinion, right? That's what I can say, and not just blindly read off the stats that he has. So therefore, for me, I'll speak to a few people. I know a couple of guys in Slovakia who can most probably tell me a little bit about the coach and tell me about the character and how he wants to play football and all. So yeah, and maybe looks at some old videos. But interesting appointment. In regard to being in the top 3, because I thought my idea was that I thought they'll make a top 5, and from the top 5 they will cut it down, and yeah, I thought Stephen would be in it, Havas would be in it, Khalid would be in it, Sondra Sen would be in it, and then someone as a surprise. I feel Khalid Jamil will get the nod. He has the knack of getting results out of what looks ordinary. He also knows the current situation of players playing in the league. Yuturanjan, yeah, you might think it that way. I would rather say that I know a lot of players who would not be happy in the Indian national team setup if Khalid Jamil comes. Um, there are certain things regarding Khalid which not in the public domain, but I know a lot of people wouldn't be happy about it. And a national team is not a club side. If you look at last season's results that Jamshedpur FC delivered, and I can say I watched, for example, Jamshedpur FC live for 90 minutes in Delhi against Punjab FC. It was two players, Stephen Eze at the back, who came on and just held the whole thing together. And up front, Javi Hernandez, lovely player. If he doesn't have those kind of players, what is he going to do? Is he going to try and shut shop in like old days Mumbai FC, which he did in the I-League? He would need those kind of players, and he doesn't have those players. The Indian national team doesn't have those players. So therefore, for me, Khalid, before I pick Khalid, I would pick actually Chandra Sen, because I think Chandra Sen is a more realistic coach. Khalid has one way to play, and that is defensive and hope something happens up front. That is how he got results with Jamshedpur FC. That's how Aizawl FC got results, and he grinded out results over the years at Mumbai FC. Are we resorting to budget-friendly options? Shouldn't we go for mid-profile coach managing team rank above 100 with good track record? Anbarasan, I think at the moment, I don't think we're looking at a long-term option. I said this yesterday. Those of you who haven't watched yesterday's video, where I clearly state, to me, the interesting part would have been if we realize that I need a coach till March 2026. My main aim now is the AFC Asian Cup 2027 final round qualifiers. Most probably 2 friendlies, and then the 4 qualifiers, maybe 2 more friendlies. So 4 friendlies, 4 matches in the qualifiers. That is all that is counts. I'm not looking at mid to long term. And mid-term to long term in a national team, in my opinion, doesn't work. I have to be practical. I have to figure out who are the best players. I can't make an Indian national team project because then even in the South region, we will not be able to defend our title. So therefore, for me, yes, and we're in the middle of a qualification process. We're not at the start of it. If we're at the start of it, I would have thought someone like a Peter Segar would have been an interesting option. But at this moment, if you ask me, if I look at the 3 candidates, my clear-cut favorite is Stephen Constantine. And he's worked in the last 2 years. Sorry. If Stephen can work under very difficult circumstances in Pakistan, he's managed Nepal in the past, he's managed us twice in the past under difficult circumstances. He now knows the ISL also better because of his one season in Kolkata with East Bengal. I think if someone can take us to the Asian Cup, it is most probably Stephen. I want fighting spirit in him, and that you'll get from Stephen. That is one thing that Stephen's teams have always shown. If they don't show you good football, but they will give you a fighting spirit, and that is something that I think that we all are looking forward to and hoping for, that this team can showcase, highlight, because otherwise it gets very, very difficult and very, very dark if we can't do that, right? So that's a very, very important thing. Right, 1 hour, 24 minutes plus. Once more, the reminder, if you haven't, do leave a like behind. Share it with other people, even if you're watching it afterwards. 22 likes so far. Thank you very much. And subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, join our conversations, ask your questions, give me observations, look at the short videos that I make, and leave your observations behind. What is the right thing, right or wrong, and then we can talk about it and discuss it. To me, and try and take it forward. So that's always something which I do, and thanks a lot to that, and therefore we need to keep on the conversation going. I just saw something that I got from the Indian Football Association. Okay, so the IFA has taken today strict action against match fixing in the Calcutta Football League. There was a meeting of the disciplinary committee, and they've taken action. And I've handed it over to the Kolkata police, with certain players and an assistant coach being temporarily suspended, and they're waiting for the report from the police. Okay, interesting that the IFA is going to that extent. Good to see that. that if match fixing is happening, CFL, that they're taking a stance. I know about Khalid and his superstitions with stories about what he did behind at backroom back in Mumbai FC days, but I feel AIFF will go with Indian coach. Chittaranjan, let's see, because it seems like that the national team department were batting for Stephen, which I find very interesting. Was people told me, no, national team department is batting for Khalid or for Sanjay Sen. So therefore, let's wait and see. I'm interested to wait and see what happens, and then we'll decide on that. Welcome, Anba Rasan. Rende applying for assistant coach, but it'll be decided after head coach appointment. Pradeep, Renedy didn't apply. As far as I know, there is no Renedy Singh appointment application. So therefore, I'm not sure where this whole story comes from. Therefore, I'm still surprised that the sports star has his name in there. Let me see if they've got a later article than that. No, it's actually the latest. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Let's wait and see what happened. No, as far as I know, as I said, Rendy is not in the mix. Yeah. And Chittaranjan says, I would prefer Stephen to tried and tested. Exactly. Tried and tested. And we're in a crisis mode. We're in a crisis situation. We need immediate results. And I can't do trial and error. You need to know who works, who doesn't. And as you say, very pragmatic. Again, Stephen came in. Stephen has done what he had to do with the Indian national team. So from that perspective, I think Stephen knows what he has to do. And he doesn't have to be told what needs to happen or doesn't need to happen. Again, strict disciplinarian. I think this team doesn't seem to work with coaches who actually give the team freedom. It's a very interesting thing that I've now seen with Stimac, with Manolo, with Wim Kovac in the past. That Stephen, coaches like Stephen or even Bob, Bob gave them certain freedoms, but Bob was very smart in how he handled the whole thing. So therefore, for me, would be interesting if I see Stephen 2002, 2005, and then from 2015, 2019, 2 extended stints. Before that in Nepal, after India was in Malawi, in Sudan, in Rwanda. So he's worked in different difficult conditions, difficult countries, and that makes him, in my opinion, the best candidate to be India head coach going into this second half of the year, if we're deciding on who to come. Right. If you guys don't have any more observations or points, I'll slowly come to an end of this live. Just once more the reminder, if you haven't, do leave a like behind if you like the conversation, even if you're watching afterwards. 23 likes at the moment. Share it with other people. We need to grow the community. I depend on your help and your support, everyone. Thanks as always for your support. We need to grow the community. Watch the short videos that I try and make on a daily basis. Comment on those, that the reach can grow. I need your support. I've seen that this new hype thing, which I don't seem to have, but seems to be out there, that seems to be working a bit as well. So do hype the videos as well. I need your support, otherwise I cannot grow and spread out the most honest discussion here on the net. Thanks, Dark Knight. You're very, very welcome. And we have 3 candidates as Indian national team coach: Khalid Jamil, Stephen Constantine, and Stefan Tarkovic. A surprise. And interesting to see what happens. Rushabh, yes, you're a little late. I'm about to just end in 30 seconds. Maybe you'll join a little earlier tomorrow, and then we can have a discussion on the things. But those are the 3 coaches who have been shortlisted. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the Exco. And I'll be speaking to you very soon. So now Chaudhary signing off. Bye for now.